Hello, 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 everybody. It is Tonikia, and I am the mindful coach and life enthusiast. And tonight I'm coming to you a little bit late. I usually try to get on here around 5:30 because I do a group post for the Abundant Health, Abundant Life course, and we have a group there. So if you'd like to join the group and you'd like to be a part of that, then go ahead and sign up. I know tonight was supposed to be the launch of the course, but unfortunately, that's not going to happen. It's been pushed back. And so I'm hoping and praying that it will be able to still be able to move forward. But whatever the case, I'm still on this journey. We're on module 6, and I am excited to talk to you about what's going on tonight because it is about the relationship with food. So, hello, everybody. Thank you for joining. Thank you for tuning in. If you have any questions or comments about food and relationships with food, or mindful tips about food, or anything that can deals with food, go ahead and throw them in the comment box. And if you like, I will respond to them. And if you would like to meet with me one on one, you can do so afterwards. Send me an email to Tanika L. Steams at yourfullmindlife.com. Yes, that's it. Or it's so much going on right now. I'm sorry. Or you can go to yourfullmindlife.com and sign up for an appointment for a one-on-one, 15-minute Ask the Coach or a 60-minute discovery call. Or you can just go and sign up to practice mindfulness one-on-one with me. And so I'm going to go ahead and jump in because I actually had another call. I was supposed to be on at 6 o'clock for someone that I'm going to be interviewing next in the next 2 weeks. And so I need to get off and get on with them. But before I do, I want to share with you what has been going on in Module 6. So I don't know how many of you were able to watch the live last night with Angelique Juicing, but it's so funny how God does things and puts things together, because not only was last night about joy, juicing and mindful eating and how to be more healthy and the right things to eat, but Module 6 is about food and the relationship we have with food. And so, just like anything else, a lot of times we only think that relationships are with people, but anything that is in our life that we are in contact with, we have a relationship with it. And how we perceive it, or how we look at it, determines what priority it takes in our life. And so, the first thing I want to talk to you about is, what would you say is your real relationship with food? Do you know that you have a relationship with food? Because I know before I learned that I was emotionally eating, I didn't know that that existed. And so, um, in the group, I talked about how my uncle had passed away, and when he passed away, it kind of put me in a state of depression that I didn't even know that I was in, because I'm an only child. He and I almost pretty much grew up together, and so I felt like I was losing my brother. And when he passed away, I was sitting at the table, and I won't forget how I was just sitting there and I was eating. Now, I don't remember that I was doing that, but what I don't forget is my mom looked at me and said, "Do you know that you haven't stopped eating since you sit down at this table? You've just been putting food in your mouth." And I had no clue. I was not aware. I was not paying attention to what I was doing, where I was at, or why I was doing it. I just was eating, eating. And that is where I guess I found comfort. And I didn't even realize that food was a comfort. I've never been big on food, but all my life I've had weight issues. It seems like, I've been overweight, and it's because I wasn't eating right. I wasn't eating healthy, and I wasn't consuming the right things. I don't like a lot of dairy products. I mean, I can do cheese sometimes, but it's not good for me. I don't like milk at all, but if I put sugar in it, I can drink it. That's not good for you. Why would you drink milk with sugar in it? And it's defeating the purpose. And so, anyways, now I'm more mindful of the relationship that I have with food. I'm more mindful of what I'm putting in my body, what I'm consuming, and what I'm putting in. And right now, I was trying to hang on because I was getting a little sad at the fact that I've been doing really, really well. And I know most of us that have had weight journeys have been at one point or another where we're up and then we're down, and it's like hills and valleys. But before COVID hit, I was excited about being in a size 10. Now, to some people, that might seem like a big size, but to me, After being in a 16 to a 20 for the last 10 years prior, size 10 was off the chain for me. And so when COVID hit and we are stuck in this house, I found myself again being in a deeper relationship with food and just eating because it's there and there's nothing else to do. So we've got to redirect our mindsets and our thoughts of what we're doing, when we're doing it, and how we're doing it. And even if you like to eat, that's okay. Don't beat yourself up about it, but don't worry about eating. Worry about what you're eating. And so replace things that aren't good for you with things that are good for you. So again, if you were on the call last night and you learn anything about Angelique's juicing, then you know that what she is offering is really, really good. But there's other items that you can go out. Hey, Ty, I know, right? There's other items that you can go out and you can get. You don't have to turn into a vegetarian, or you don't have to do anything that is going to just make you totally feel like you are walking away from the things that you love. But sometimes you got to make sacrifices to be better. Sometimes the things that we think are good for us aren't necessarily good for us. The things that we think are good for us are the things that actually are controlling us, manipulating us, and deterring us from doing what's really right. Because if we think about it, when we go back to the garden, everything that was in that garden was good. It was good fruit, good plants, good vegetables for us to be able to eat. And all we were told is don't eat off of this tree, but hard headed. And I'm not even going to get into that because it's not about saying shame on Adam and Eve. You know, people going to do what they going to do. But the thing is, we know better now. We know better. But could you only imagine if we were living in a life that was plant based and we just ate plant based foods? We just ate our greens and our vegetables and we drank our greens and our vegetables. Do you understand how much more healthier we would be? How many more nutrients we would be taking in and consuming into our body? And if someone came to us and said, here, try this cow, I bet you would look at them and be like, who on earth would eat a cow? Who would eat anything from an animal? We eat fruits and vegetables. Everything we eat is natural. It comes from the ground, or it comes from a tree, or it comes from a plant. We would think someone offering us meat is crazy. But on the flip side, God offered us everything that we needed in the land that He gave to us. And what did we do? We turned to the meat. We turned to the meat. So, since we turned to the meat, now we got to do all of this regrouping, reprogramming, and unlearning all the bad habits that we've been learning to get back to the basics. And the basics is if we just turn around from the things that have caught us from the goodness, because again, things that we think are good are the things that's going to put us in a trap. The things that we don't think are good for us are the things that are definitely what we probably should be looking into. And see, and that's what the enemy knows. He knows how to get us. He knows how to entice us. He knows how to give us things that we are not going to be able to say no to. It's called sacrifice. It's called denying yourself for something greater than you. And so when Jesus went into the desert after he got baptized, he went for 40 days to meditate. And he meditated night and day. And all he had was the word of God. Now, I don't know how many of you believe in fasting, but it is something that you should take time out to try to do every now and again. And so from January 26th I'm sorry, December 26th to January 28th, I do a fast. And I've done fasts where I've done nothing at all, not water even, nothing at all for those days until my birthday. And that the very first time that I did it, that's what I did. And I'm telling you, God showed me some things, opened up some doors and a windows of opportunity. And that leads me to where we are now. Because had it not been for me taking that time, and it's actually funny because I had just turned 40 years old, had just turned 40. And at that time, it was pivotal. And I'll never forget, I told my aunt, I feel like I'm at the top of my game. I feel like everything is going right in my life. I feel like I'm where I need to be. And at this point, I was trying to come into mindfulness. I'm practicing mindfulness and I'm trying to do things that are right and that are worthy to the Lord. And my whole world came crashing down. Everything around me fell apart. There was not even no pieces I felt like I could pick up and put back together. And I was right. It wasn't meant for me to pick up pieces and put them back together because God was doing a new thing. And 6 years later, here I am, relaunched my business, getting ready to turn 46 years old. I can't say it has been easy. I can't say that everything has went according to plan, but what I can say is obedience will open doors for you. And so those last 6 years that I thought that everything was bad and my whole life fell apart from 40 to now, God was working that thing out. Because if it hadn't have been for that happening to me, fasting in that time and praying, I would not have understood the goodness that God was getting ready to pour into my life. And now He has opened up a door and helped me to receive my blessing. And so what I'm telling you is you have to take time out to give up some things that you think you want. Because if you're holding on to something, whatever it may be, you are not going to be able to receive the greater blessing that God has for you. And so when we deny ourselves food and people are like, I need to eat, I got to eat, I get angry when I don't eat. Well, stop that. Because no, you don't. No, you don't. If you tell yourself that's what you do, then guess what? That's what you're going to do. But what you should do is say, I'm giving it up for Jesus. Because if I can give that up for Jesus, then what more is He going to give to me? And don't do it because you want something, because I had no clue. I had no clue that there was a blessing behind it. I just knew that being 40, I wanted to do something different with my life. I wanted to detox. I wanted to cleanse. I wanted to start fresh and start new. But I was up here thinking that everything was great and everything was lovely. But God had to break that thing down so He could build me back up. And I'm telling you, at 46, I'm not getting ready to say that things are better than I ever thought they were. I'm not getting ready to say that, hey, I'm where I feel like I'm in a good place and I can't be moved. Because you know what? Anything can happen at any time. And so it leads me back to when COVID hit. I had lost all this weight. I'm wearing size 10. I'm feeling pretty good about myself. And now I've gained weight and I get on the scale and I'm like, okay, God, I got to stay mindful. I got to keep talking to myself about how I feel in my body. I need to be comfortable with myself, regardless what stage of weight I'm at. But it isn't about what stage of weight you're at. It's about being healthy. And if you're just sitting around blaming COVID for every single thing that's going on, then what God are you serving? You done made COVID your God. And so I was happy that 2020 was ending. December 26th was coming because I knew I was approaching the time to be able to detox and cleanse and to get in a good mind state and to give up some things that I need to let go of. And sometimes it's not just food, but right now we're talking about food. And so on this cleanse and fast that I've been doing, it's just been liquid or green. And so I've been eating a lot of soup and a lot of vegetables, but watch your sodium intake. Don't eat soup from a can. I've been making homemade soup, child. Homemade soup. And my babies, they like it. My kids like it. They ain't got no choice. What they gonna eat? Cause they wait for me to feed them. So whatever I'm doing, they gonna do. Unless they want to get in there and cook something, whatever I bring to the table, they gonna sit down and eat it. So that's a way that I can encourage them to eat healthier and not do it in a way where I'm forcing them to do something, but I'm offering them an alternative that they have no choice to. It's okay. It's all right. That's what parents do. It's for their benefit. And that's the same thing that God does for us. He sacrificed His life so that we can live in abundance, so that we can be here in the flesh, this flesh that cares nothing about us, that we like so much, that we don't want to give up. So we have to deny ourselves in the flesh. We have to give up some things so that we can receive something better. And so with that, I'm going to just let you know, if you haven't had an opportunity to see any of my lives on the Abundant Health, Abundant Life journey, do yourself a service and go check them out on YouTube or Facebook Live, or you can get them through my website or on my podcast coming up pretty soon, because I haven't done any live podcasts recently, because I'm trying to get all of the previous lives that I've done together so I can get them put on the podcast. And then I'll have series and segments. And I've got some good stuff lined up. And you guys have been amazing, because from the time I started this podcast till now, we went from streaming on one stream to nine now. And we went overnight. And it just seems like we were just right there with a couple of listeners. And now we've got over 100. And to some people, that may not be a lot, but this thing ain't even been going on for 2 months. So, hey, that's a blessing. Somebody is getting something out of it. So thank you for continuing to follow me on this journey, because your encouragement means so much. And just the support of seeing that we can come together and we can uplift one another, that's a blessing. And it makes me want to do better. It makes me want to work harder and strive to be my best self, because I can't get on here producing abundant health and abundant life and telling you to be mindful and telling you to live your purpose if I'm not leading by example. And I'm a strong, firm believer. You have to lead by example. Now, with Dr. Terry's modules, Abundant Health, Abundant Life courses, you get 15 lessons, and each lesson has scripture and resources and worksheets, but it starts out with a worship song. And so it's so funny because after you read the worship, after you go through the worship video, it's a video that has a worship song, and it's always something you can relate to, and it goes right along with the module of the course. It asks you a question, and so tonight's question was, how do you worship and give praise to the Lord? And so in my quiet space, in my time that I spend time with God, is in the shower. So I praise and wash up. I praise and wash up. I get my clean on in the shower, and I praise and I sing. And so I wash up and I worship at the same time. And then I feel healthy, cleansed, and ready to take on whatever else it is I need to take on. So stay mindful of what you're putting into your mouth. Stay mindful of what you're putting into your body. Stay mindful of what you are consuming. And that doesn't matter. It's not just food that can cause you to gain weight. We're not talking about weight. We're talking about things that can consume you and keep you from a higher calling and a blessing. And sometimes we have to give up those things that are hindering our blessing. And so right now, we're just talking about food and the relationship that we have with food. And so if you are in a dysfunctional relationship with food, come talk to me. Check me out. Yourfullmindlife.com. I actually have a mindful eating session that I do that talks about eating mindfully and being healthy and doing things in a holistic manner. But if you want to take it a step further, go check out Dr. Terry, learn about functional medicine, and understand that the things that we consume can affect our mind, body, and soul. And although we may have things that are causing us to be on blood pressure medicine, anxiety medicine, or cholesterol, or whatever it is that medicine you might have to take, I'm telling you, I started out, when I started this journey, I was on blood pressure medicine. I was taking 3 pills a day. I got me some tea right now, y'all. Tea, there it is, tea, and I'm tea. And not only that, but I don't take any drugs right now. I don't take any drugs. I'm not on anything except for life. I'm high on life. Jesus, thank you, Lord. And I feel good. But come on and feel good with me. Come on and get your life started in the right direction. If you think you got it all together, then I'm not talking to you. But for those of you who feel like you need an answer to your prayer, or you need to try something new, even if it doesn't work, if you just want to try something different that might change your life, then come holler at us, check it out, and understand what it is that you can be more functional, you can be more healthy, and you can be more abundant in life. Thank you for joining me on this call. I got to jump off of here now so I can go get on another call for a guest I got coming. But be with me next week as I have a young lady that Elizabeth Adams is going to be coming on talking about what? Nutrition. So she's a neurological nutritionist. And so she's going to tell you how to um, eat mindfully and how to look at what's affecting your mind as far as what you're putting in your body. So all of this stuff goes hand in hand. So join me live next week. Tomorrow, join me as we talk about the Proverbs 31 woman at 10 p.m. Tomorrow's Thursday. If God lets us see it, we'll be on Proverbs 31 woman. See where you can find yourself in her. And other than that, have a good evening. God bless you. And remember, as always, you were created with purpose. Have a good evening.